Hey y'all, good afternoon. Today we are going over the new books for the week of August 1st because, wow, it's August. The first book that is on the list, I had already known it was coming out, and I was like, when I saw it, I was like, but wait, this comes out in August. And where's July? No, it's not anymore. Tomorrow's the first day of August. So yeah, that was a fun realization for my brain. But if you're new here, hi, I'm Morgan. I hope you enjoy this list and find something that you want to pick up. And if you do enjoy it, make sure to subscribe so you can come back every week to see the new books releasing. Let's get into it. And as with every week, we will have timestamps for the different genres so you can click to whichever ones you like. But we are starting out with fantasy. And the first one is the one I was confused about. It's called The Book of Witches by Jonathan Strahan. And this one is actually a group of short stories in the book. All of them are, of course, witches. Witches, whether you know them from Shakespeare or from Wicked, there is no staple more beloved in folklore, fairy tale, or fantasy than these magical beings. Witches are everywhere and at the heart of the stories that resonate with many people around the world. This dazzling, otherworldly collection gathers new stories of witches from all walks of life, ensuring a Halloween readers will never forget. Whether they be maiden, mother, crone, or other, funny, fierce, light, or airy, or dark and disturbing, witches are a vital part of some of the greatest stories we have, and new ones start here. It's 29 stories and poems. It says from the greatest science fiction and fantasy writers working today. So, yeah. And this next one is more of a fantasy horror comic series. It's apparently based off of a webtoon. It came out as an ebook in April, but now it's going to be physical copied. Yes, it's a physical copy. It's called Twistwood Tales by A.C. MacDonald. And they're supposed to be horror comics, but they're just the art style, they look kind of adorable, so I wanted to mention that. Come join Bucket Boy and the whole Twisted Wood gang as they live their lives in the forest, travel through a magical land, and meet an enchanting cast of smart, snarky, and sweet characters from the popular webcomic. From the worrisome Loghead to the not-so-helpful Dr. Crowley to the terrifying fairy Gourdmother, and many more, the Forest of Twistwood contains plenty of kind and magical creatures. Follow along as the characters explore moral quandaries, discuss mental health, and more. An extended story details Bucket Boy's journey to learn that he is a valuable friend, whether or not he can be useful. Full of wholesome and lessons and witty jokes, Twistwood will enchant and amuse readers for years to come. So it sounds very sweet and adorable, but it's listed as a horror comic. I don't know. Maybe because the artwork. I don't know. Yeah. If you look it up, maybe you'll get the horror aspect, because while it's cute, it also has this dark cute to it. Then we move into YA fantasy with The Guardians of Dawn, just Guardians of Dawn Azara by S.J. Jones. This one has been described as like a Sailor Moon meets Cinder. That's what it says. Yeah, Cinder. Sailor Moon meets Cinder. Magic flickers, love flames, chaos reigns. Magic is forbidden throughout the Morning Realms. Magicians are called an abomination and blamed for the plague of monsters that razed the land 20 years before. Jin Zara has enough to worry about, appeasing her stepmother's cruel whims, looking after her blind younger sister, and keeping her own magical gifts under control, without having to deal with rumors of monsters reemerging in the marsh. But when a chance encounter with an easily flustered young man named Han brings her into contact with a secret magical liberation organization called the Guardians of Dawn, Zara realizes there may be more to these rumors than she thought. A mysterious plague is corrupting the magicians of Zani and transforming them into monsters, and the Guardians of Dawn believe the demon is responsible. In order to restore harmony and bring peace to the world, Zara must discover the elemental warrior within, lest the balance between order and chaos is lost forever. It's white, but it also, I don't know, just the description makes me feel more middle grade there. We will have to see how that turns out. Then the next one is The Bewitching Hour by Ashley Poston. This is supposed to be a Buffy vibes, but it's a Tara prequel. And I'm trying to remember who Tara is in the Buffy show because it's been so very, very long. But it says it's Tara gets the main character treatment in this YA prequel full of 90s nostalgia. Tara McClay isn't thrilled to be starting her senior year of high school in a new town, but she just can't keep her head down. but if she can just keep her head down, then maybe she can make it through this year at Helborn, Vermont, without the town living up to its name. I mean, why do all these towns have to be called this way? Well, it's Sunnydale, you know. His name was deceptive. Of course, her plan falls apart immediately as the dead students start turning up around her, and she's suddenly voted most likely to have murdered them by the rest of the senior class. Oh, and the fellow new girl Tara is crushing on turns out to be a witch hunter. So maybe it's not the worst thing that Tara's magic is majorly malfunctioning. As the body count rises, Tara has to overcome her fears, reconnect with her magic, and cast herself in a more central role to save the town, even if it means putting her new relationship at risk. And this next one sounds sufficiently spooky. It is a paranormal YA. The Narrow by Kate Alice Marshall. Everyone has heard the story of the Narrow. The river that runs behind the Atwood School is only a few feet across and seemingly placid. But beneath the surface, the waters are deep and vicious. It's said that no one who has fallen in has ever survived. Eden White knows that isn't true. 6 years ago, she saw Delphine Foreigner fall into the Narrow and live. Delphine now lives in careful isolation, sealed off from the world. Even a single drop of unpurified water could be deadly to her. And no one but Eden has any idea why. Eden has never told anyone what she saw or spoken to Delphine since, but now, unable to cover her tuition, she has to make a deal. Her expenses will be paid in return for serving as a living companion to Delphine. Eden finds herself drawn to the strange and mysterious girl, and the two of them begin to unravel each other's secrets. Then Eden discovers what happened to the last girl who lived with Delphine. She was found half drowned on dry land. Suddenly, Eden is waking up to wet footprints tracking into the end of her bed, the sound of rain on windows when the skies are clear, and a ghostly silhouette in her doorway. Something is haunting Delphine, and now it's coming for Eden too. Sunshine, what you doing? Another YA paranormal that I think sounds like one of the book box. It says they're getting in August. Owl Crate, maybe? I don't remember. It's Omen of Ice by Jess Accardo. That one. Keltadia Toon has spent her whole life training to become a bodyguard for a winter fae. It's the highest honor for a druid. Only when Tiana arrives at the winter court for the first time, nothing is what she expected. Her assignment is the heir to the throne, Valen, and he doesn't want her protection. In fact, he wants her gone yesterday, but Tanya will not compromise, even if he is the most arrogant she's ever met, because something isn't right in the winter court. Everyone has secrets, from the winter lord to the kitchen maids to the rising faction that wants the prince dead. No one who is who they seem. Now it's up to Tanya to keep her sacred oath and protect Valen, even when his smart mouth makes her skate the razor-thin edge between love and hate. But the more she gets to know him, the more she realizes his secret is the biggest of all, and might just get them both killed. So at least it sounds good. And then we move into romantic suspense. Out of Nowhere by Sandra Brown. At a Texas county fair, amidst carousels and a bustling midway, children's book author Elle Portman is enjoying a rare night out with her favorite cowboy, her 2-year-old son, Charlie. But just as they're about to head home, the unthinkable happens. A shooter opens fire into the crowd, causing widespread panic to erupt all around them. Also caught in the melee was corporate consultant Calder Hudson. Arrogant, self-centered, and high off his latest career win, he's frustrated and confused when he wakes up in the hospital after undergoing emergency surgery on his arm. The doctor tells them that he was lucky, that as far as the gunshot wounds go, he pulled through remarkably well. Others weren't so lucky, which instills in Calder a furious determination to get justice, a goal shared by Elle. Words. Their chance encounter at the police station leads to a surprising and inexplicable gravitation to one another. But even as the attraction grows, Elle and Calder can't help but wonder if the unimaginable tragedy that brought them together is too painful and too complicated to sustain, especially while the shooter remains at large. I really don't like how they didn't say anything about her son, but I'm hoping that he's fine. Yep. Gotta hope that. Then regular romance is Change of Plans by Dylan Newton. Well, in its thing it says it's a romantic comedy, but you know. When disaster strikes and Chef Bryce Weatherford is given guardianship of her 3 young nieces, her life goes from cooking with fire to controlling a dumpster fire. 5-year-old Addison refuses to remove her fairy wings, 8-year-old Cicely won't bathe, and tween June is majoring in belligerence. With all this chaos, Bryce jettisons hope for a life outside of managing her family and her new job. It's been years since Riker Matthews had his below-the-knee amputation, yet the phantom pain for his lost limb and Marine career haunts him. To cope, he focuses on his vehicle restoration business. He knows he's lucky to be alive, yet lucky feels more like cursed to his lonely heart. When Riker literally sweeps Bryce off her feet in the grocery store baby aisle, they both feel sparks, but falling in love would be one more curveball neither of them is ready to deal with, or is it exactly the change of plans they needed? Then we have a thriller called Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister. Not everyone who is lost should be found. 22-year-old Olivia has been missing for 1 day and counting. She was last seen on CCTV entering a dead-end alley and not coming back out again. Julia, the detective heading up the search for Olivia, thinks she knows what to expect. A desperate family, a ticking clock, and long hours away from her husband and daughter. But she has no idea just how close to home the case is going to get. Because the criminal at the heart of the disappearance has something she never expected. His weapon isn't a gun or a knife, it's a secret. Her worst one. And her family's safety depends on one thing. Julia must not find out what happened to Olivia. And must frame somebody else for her murder. If you find her, you will lose everything. What would you do? This one sounds good. This one sounds really good. And it's going to look at, choices which aren't black and white. Choices which, can't make you feel. And our last book is just a regular fiction to end the week with. At the Coffee Shop of Curiosities by Heather Weber. A mysterious letter, an offer taken, and the chance to move forward. When Ava Harrison receives a letter containing an unusual job listing for 1 month after the sudden death of her ex-boyfriend, she thinks she's being haunted. The listing, a job as a living caretaker for a peculiar old man and his cranky cat in Driftwood, Alabama, is the perfect chance to start a new life, a normal life. Ava has always been too fearful to even travel, so no one's more surprised than she is when she throws caution to the wind and drives to the distant beachside town. On the surface, Maggie May Brightwell is a bundle of energy as she runs Magpies, Driftwood's coffee and curiosity shop, where there's magic to be found in the pairing of old and new. But lurking under her cheerful exterior is a painful truth. Keeping busy is the best way to distract herself from the lingering loss of her mama and her worries about her aging father. No one knows better than she does that you can't pour from an empty cup, but holding on to the past is the only thing keeping her hope alive that her mama will return home one day. At first I thought it was... I don't remember that last line from when I first got it because it sounded like, her mom had passed. I don't know. Ava and Maggie soon find their kindred spirits as they're both haunted, not by spirits, but by regret. Both must learn to let go of the past to move on because sometimes the waves of change bring you to the place you most belong. I'm a bit confused now by that last one. A bit confused. That's all for this week's list. It was a little bit shorter, but hopefully still you're able to find something new that you want to add to your TBR pile, list, however you keep track of all the books. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe you'll consider checking out some of my other ones, like the August TBR or any of the unboxings, and subscribe so you can come back every Monday to catch the new book releases that are coming out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you're finding something awesome to read today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!